Hey all, here I am with another Lazy Bastards video. It just take too long to type all this out, so I figured I would do it as a video. One of the things that I'd like to next cover is something that was pretty influential to me, and that is kind of discovering why I think people believe what it is that they believe and the different influences that go into that. Um, and I kind of came at it in a way in which that was not my goal to learn that, but I learned a whole lot sort of by surprise. And how that ended up working is when we moved here to Columbia from where we were, which was out in Missouri. Um, Coming into this town, I found out that my old roommate from college was here, and so I had called him up and said, "Hey, we're moving to your town," and he said, "Well, what are you going to do when you get here?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm working with like homeless youth here, and I enjoy it, so I'll probably look for something more along those lines there." And he goes, "Well, you got to come and check out what I'm doing." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm doing hypnosis." And I said, "Well, you're a quack." And he said, "No, no, no. You need to come by and check it out." Now there was a hypnosis chain of hypnosis centers called Positive Changes. It was sort of a mishmash of hypnosis and Sylvan Mind and what's the other thing that they had out there in California? Um, I'll remember it later on. But it was a center that was started by a guy, and they had like 50 of them throughout the country. And I didn't, I've always been very dubious about that kind of thing. Never thought about it in anything outside of, the whole idea of quackery. But when we came here to Columbia, I went by their center, and they were going to allow me to sit in on some of the sessions and see what's going on. And one of the very first people that they had come in was a woman who had been in the first Gulf War, and she had gotten injured, and I don't even remember how she got injured. Her knee was fused, and her story was something along the lines of that she had been in constant pain for 10 years, actually to the point where she didn't, her words were, "I don't remember what it's like to not be in pain." And so they went back and they worked with her via hypnosis for about a half an hour, and she came out and she was, in crying, and she's like, "I'm not in pain." Um, and so, I decided, well, maybe there's something to this. And so um, I kind of stayed on, and how they work there was you kind of learned it as an apprenticeship. So you had to like sit in for 40 hours of stuff, and then there was stuff to read, and then you worked with people while somebody was watching you, and then eventually, got some sort of certification and had to do so many hours of people on your own with feedback before you got like your certification. None of that really means anything other than because anybody can make that up. There's no regulation on it, but that's just how this company did it, and that's how I ended up learning how to do hypnosis and how I was sort of introduced to it. And it was sort of a bastardized version thereof. But anyway, that's sort of an introduction to how I kind of got into it and why I got interested in it. And as we go on, I'm going to start introducing some of the things that I learned. And I'd appreciate it if any kind of feedback in terms of criticism and in my thought process, like, I see it a certain way, and you go, "No, no, no, that's not necessarily that way. It could be easily seen this way or this way or this way." And it's nice to sort of bounce these different ideas off of each other so that you have a better idea, or all of us have a better idea of uh, these phenomena and how it works. So that's it.